You said the best way to break the design rules is not knowing them, but could you explain a little bit more on that point?
Is that something you need to say in French? So that or I still don't have a good grasp on how many don't understand.
Ouais, but everybody say yeah.
It's okay.
Maybe you speak louder. That's cool.
So the question had to do with there's a saying in design, I'm sure many of you have heard it, that you have to know the rules before you can break them. You have to learn the rules and then you can break them. And I don't believe that because I never knew the rules. I never went to school for graphic design, and I never learned all the things I'm not supposed to do. So when I start to do a layout, I just do what seems to make sense to me. And then other people say, oh, you broke that rule, oh, you can't do that. And oh, no, this makes sense. It makes sense to me. So I don't believe that you have to know the rules to break them. In my case, not knowing them actually helped. Because when I was doing a skateboard magazine and surfing and snowboarding and then music magazine, Ray Gun, I just, I did what made sense, and I didn't have a voice in the back of my head as I started to do something saying, remember, those don't go there. Oh, remember, we don't do that. I didn't have any of that, which I think 4 years of schooling probably would have had that built into me, that these are some of the basic rules. So I don't believe, I think in my case it was better to not know all the things I wasn't supposed to do. But it wasn't trying to break rules either. That wasn't the starting point. The starting point was to try to interpret things. And then other people looked at the work and said, oh, you broke that rule and you can't do that and that's hard to read. But readability has a lot to do with what you're interested in reading. So if it's your favorite band and it's a little hard to read, you're going to read it. If it's a prescription bottle medicine and there's a 1-point type and it says, warning, you may die if, you're probably going to read that, even though it's 1 point. So the point is the readability has so much to do with what you're interested in reading. And when I redesigned Surfer magazine, they showed it to American designer Milton Glaser, a good designer, older guy in the 60s, and he said, what do you think of the redesign of Surfer magazine? And of course he hated it. But my point is, well, why not ask 18-year-old surfer coming out of the water, what do you think of the redesign of your magazine? And that would be more valid, I think. But I was lucky without the schooling and then starting with a skateboard magazine and then having a way of working that was almost more painterly, where I'm just interpreting. I'm saying, boy, that's a really angry person. And then starting to arrange things to where at some point I go, that feels angry to me, and it's done. Had I started somewhere else, like, doing shoe boxes or something, it wouldn't have been as interesting to me. Or candy wrappers, or there's a lot of boring design jobs out there. I'm sure some of you probably have some of them.
Yeah.